Practice.
Information's out there. All you have to do is let it in.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary.
Took a trip to Washington, D.C. We had a tour guide take us right to the Potomac River. He walked to a specific spot, and he said it was right here in this spot in 1863 that Abraham Lincoln took a $10 bill and threw it across the Potomac to the other side. Which I replied, that's impossible. No one can take a $10 bill and throw it that far. To which the guide replied to me, well, you have to understand, sir, in those days, money went a lot farther.
tracking continues.
Wow. 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 We got 3 of them tonight. Hey, everybody. It's Friday night. We made it again. We're on the right side of the grass. Well, at least if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you better be. Otherwise, you might need help. Somebody help that person trapped underground. Hey, how's everyone doing? Let's see. Wow. Let's see. I gotta get that's 4. I'm not allowed to do that many in a single episode. Let me turn my camera on.
Clickety click.
There it is. Hey, everybody. Good to be seen by you all. We've already got 79 wonderful souls in here, and we got more watching over on Rockfish. You got 4 people, looks like, over there, and we got people over on Rumble, and I'm building up my Rumble, and I keep threatening it, but it's coming soon. I'll do a show over there, and try to drag Jen and Chapu over there, maybe, if I can. And get some more numbers over there. There's stuff I've made I can't even show anymore on YouTube. It's just the way it is. But that's how they got us. They corralled us over here, and nobody wants to leave. And so it's their ship, and they can do what they want, and they can shadow ban who they want, and they can demonetize who they want, and that's just the way it is. Where is he?
That's very true.
So wow, a lot has been going on, and yet nothing has been going on. And what do I mean by all that? There's so much to talk about. Of course, there's the assassination attempt that happened, and I was like, you should have been at my house and hear me with my wife. I'm like, dang, why did this go down on Saturday? Like, I just done the show the night before. So I had all these notes and stuff and whatever, and between that and the conventions going on, my mind was ready to explode. So I have more tabs than I think I've ever had. I got so much to talk about, and of course, give you my spin, the ceiling fan man spin. Where's that? I like this thing at the beginning here, of course. Give you the ceiling fan man spin.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
They're very attractive. Okay, so and this is all growing back in, so everyone can calm down. Takes, I'm all man, it just comes back really fast, like poof, But so I'm gonna talk about that, the craziness that's been going on with the shutdowns and all kinds of stuff. So a lot to talk about, and then I've made some little videos and stuff. So yeah, we should have a good time tonight. And let me move this there. That's much. Oh shoot, that's upside down. There we go. Kind of still upside down. All right. So where are we?
And so here we are.
Here we are. We'll get to the politics later, dear, on the show, and we're going to talk about why I believe everything is fake and goy.
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So and I'm what do you call it? Copywriting that. Everything is fake and goy. You heard it first here.
The Ceiling Fan Man world premiere.
All right, and we'll explain why I believe everything is fake and goy. So, and if you read it wrong, that's on you. Okay. Oh, and Rethink's here. Good. Thank you. We had a great day today. So thank you. We had a really nice day. Yeah. And so what was this? Oh, hi, Rethink. Okay. Is he late? No, I guess you're not late yet. We really haven't officially started the show. And thank you, Darrow Dessa. I don't know why my old system just writes super sticker, but I'm sure it was something really cute. But thank you. That's very nice of you. This ministry appreciates all help that way. Oh, speaking of which, I've got at least, let's see if I can find it really quick. What's the name of it? It's called, there it is. Clickety click. Okay. I want to talk about this really quick because I am, besides wonderful donations that I get and through Cash App, and there's pinned in the comments if you care to donate to us, and but also I'm so proud of all the wonderful things that my wife can do, and she put this together all on her own. She did. That was during the time I was really sick, and she created this store, and she's now selling her soaps. And so basically, there are 2 bars, and you get for $15, and the postage is 10. So if you get more bars, the postage doesn't change. That's just the least expensive way I could send it out. And so they're great. They're 5-ounce bars each. They're really large. And here I've got some right here too, put next to my face. But so yeah, if you want to go, and it's another way to support us and get some amazing soap. And so I'll share the site with you. Right now, we just have 4 kinds on there, and we'll probably expand the store eventually, but we'll see how this goes. And so if you're interested, I'll grab the link and I'll find where you all are, stop this, and we'll put it in here, and you can check it out and see if you'd like to buy some of her soap. I'll throw it over. Let's see, here's Rockfin. Got to get in there. Put it there. Put there. I figure I get this stuff out of the way that people still showing up in the room. And we'll put it over here. So if some natural soaps interest you, just do that. See, look at they're nice. They're big. And this is the one with infused clay. Oh, that's funny. It's green, so it disappears. Yeah, it looks real spacey. That's kind of cool. All right, it's enough of that. But yeah, that's what that is. It has a there's a type of clay that's out here in the Northwest, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Now I got soap everywhere. Okay, get that off of it. All right. So if you'd like to do that, we really appreciate that. And got another card from my pen pal. Thank you very much. She just did. I love it. There's so much writing to get through. It's great. And we sent you, well, I'll spoiler, we sent you some soap. So see if you like it, because you've done so much for us, and we really appreciate it. And I also know that you were asking for health prayers along with others. And in fact, my sister from another Mr. Is that what I say with Jen? She was having a headache and stuff. And I told her that salt, a little bit of salt under the tongue can help with stuff like cramps and migraines. Of course, check with your doctor and your local 3-letter organization. Don't listen to me. I'm experimenting, but yes. Okay. So where are we at here? Okay. Let's go to, let me get some of these tabs out of the way. We got almost 100 people here now, so I think it's ready to start the show. So after this, I would say that you will be late. So, okay. We'll go here, clickety click, and there. Okay. Oh, that's us. Okay. I went too far. Okay. I backed up too far. Too many tabs. We want this one. Oh, but before we do that, I guess I have to stop sharing. I want to go here. I need my panda discussion started by JT. I think pandas are sus.
Is my parents' dog moonlighting as a panda?
I love that drop. Thank you so much, JT. I listened to his show. Yeah, it was a real interesting show. And I also watched Josh Monday, the person that Trisha C recommended. That's how I found JT too. Very interesting show he had on today. So if you get a chance, you can check his stuff out too. You can put his thing in the chat, Trisha, if you want. So, okay, where are we at here? Let's go back to here. We were doing this one. Okay. So just more clips of pandas proving there's no way they could survive in the wilderness, in my mind, on their own. This is honestly all they do all day besides eat and poop and sleep. I think this one eventually crashes into a tree. Maybe it already did. It's just, it's just, come on. And okay, maybe that's not throwing you, but how about this? Did you know that they urinate upside down? So there's a new thing to add on the list. Pandas stand on a tree and they urinate upside down. Just saying. So just add that to the list of why I think pandas are sus. And then I'm not saying all of them are like humans in suits, but there's some kind of weird, I think, Chinese experiment that they're sending out on the world, maybe some weird chimera or whatever you want to call it. But that's my take on this. So, and then also for those of you that I've had discussions with that I think that there's something up with certain birds, there's this. I mean, come on. He definitely targeted that guy. You know, first they're spying on us, and now they're going to try to take us out. So there's that. And what else do I have here? How about this one? Just saying. I'm just saying. Keep an eye on the birds. You know, Alfred Hitchcock was right, I believe. He tried to warn us. And was that movie in black and white or color? Isn't that interesting? Some people remember it always being black and white, and other people remember it being in color. But the movie The Birds is actually in color. So there's that. I don't really have a stake in that one. I watched all of Alfred Hitchcock stuff. I used to watch his TV show. It was really cool. But I can't tell you what I remember on that one. I thought this was interesting. You know, they put it right in our face. So I thought that was pretty cool because that's what they say, the oil comes from. So just saying, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people use biblical cosmology in their companies, in their logos. So, all right, look at all these tabs. It's insane. Okay, what's next? My cat after I feed her. See you later, loser. Oh, shoot. Okay, what's next? Oh, let's talk about this. So apparently there's a company called, I think it's Crowdsource. And somehow they took over everything, at least with a lot of major companies around the world. And so they said they did some update this morning or last night. And it not just shut down their company, but everyone that uses their server or software or whatever, which included a lot of major airlines. And we're talking all over the world, too. Hospitals, 911 call centers. I can't even think, there were so many more companies that were affected by this. And, they're just saying that it was an update. But meanwhile, we lost the sphere. I mean, we lost the sphere. It's terrible. And the airports look horrific. I couldn't imagine having to be stuck at an airport. I mean, everything is blue screens and they're just sending people away and they're giving them vouchers for some other day. They can't even rebook you anything because none of their computers are working. So the fact that this can happen on such a level over a quote update, I mean, whatever the real reason is, we'll never understand it, of course. But the fact that this can happen in an instant, it doesn't it kind of like poke at the way our infrastructure can be shut down literally at the push of a button. We think we're so technological advanced, which we are. These machines and stuff are amazing that we have in our lives now. But a simple little, well, I hate to say it out loud, but virus, whatever it was that stops the world. It's pretty fascinating, the times that we live in. So, and then I like this. This, of course, is a joke. It's not actually Southwest, but they were one of the airlines that their flights kept running because they didn't join the new system, saving money to their customers. They stayed on the old one. So it says, well, Look who needs old Southwest now, because all our systems run on a single Commodore 64. And most people, unless you're my age or older, won't know what that is. But and there, Commodore 64 is in a warehouse in Arlington, and then it says "Go to hell." It's fantastic. So, can you see that? Maybe it's not large enough. There. Now you can see it. So that's pretty good. So, oh, and then this one might even be the best. This guy, he can't even get into his refrigerator. I'm sure you could probably open it, but isn't that wild? Like even at someone's house, it screwed him over. So yeah, they're gaslighting us. Yeah, exactly. Because they were saying at one point, they had this cyber attack. It happened from China, and but now they just did it from within. It's just we destroyed ourselves from within, sort of like what it says we're gonna do. What's next? And this can only get through because the guy that posted it is the guy that runs X, right? Elon. And I thought this was really interesting. All these cartoon characters are getting diversified. It's fantastic. It's just fantastic. So I thought that was interesting. It's quite a collection there. So what's next? Oh, we can't get to that. We're gonna have to stop that. We're gonna have to do this. Oh, I'm still running that scroll. Why didn't anybody tell me? There we go. Shoot. I always play that if I say anything medical, but I didn't mean to keep playing it. Okay, so now I got 106 people here. Excellent. And anyone just show up? I'm checking the chat, but it looks like I'm seeing the same names. So I think we're okay. Yeah, but so let's see. Did Melanie finally show up? I don't know. Okay, so what's next? Well, let me clear out that space stuff. Let's see if we can get to that. Where is that? Get that out of the way early on so we don't forget. There's people that I think they just like my crazy hair. Not that, it looks pretty. It's all right tonight. My wife said she wants to give me a haircut, and that'll take about 5 minutes. It's just the way it is. All right. Here we go.
This week in scary space news.
All right. So what do we have here? A cruise liner size asteroid will come closer to the Earth than some satellites. A new mission may be racing to meet it. And I thought the Chinese we covered last week were working at like shooting at these things. So maybe we'll do some joint effort like, in Armageddon or Deep Impact. And, I think Bruce Willis is getting a little old to go up there, but maybe we can still send him if he remembers what he did last time. But yeah, so this thing's heading our way, and we need to be scared. It's the new fear, and same as the old fear. And so this one is going to be coming April 13th, 2029, and it won't be alone. So just saying, this is something to be scared about. In 5 years from now, we'll regroup and I don't know, figure this out together. See, here's pictures of it. It's on its way. Scary stuff. More space news. And I did an entire video on the Parker Space Probe, and now they just said that it just flew 500 times the speed of sound, and it's about to go faster. And I just think it's incredible that the workmanship that they put this together. I mean, some of these look pretty barely on there, and the fact that they can withstand over 500 miles an hour, and these flaps and everything is doing great. Kudos to NASA for making such an amazing, unbelievable, some might say, machinery. So it's about to go faster than 500 miles an hour. And if you want to know more about the Parker Space Probe, then what you would do, let's see, let's stop this for a second. You go here. Let's see, we'll open that tab right there so I'll see where it is. We'll go over to here, I believe. Yes. And then we're going to go find it so you can all find it later. Parker Space Probe. Here we go. And oh, am I still sharing? I forgot. That's fine. Here it is. Yeah. So it's called Probing the Sun. And it goes over the Parker Space Probe and what it's doing. So, and now it's going 500 miles an hour and faster. So there you go. All right. Let's go back to this one. Get rid of that. And then they found more water on Mars. They found a giant thing of ice. It's 50 miles in large. And so there you go. I don't know what to do with that either, but they just found it. A lot of ice on Mars. And then here's animation of 2 moons going by Jupiter's eye. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's like, oh, is that one going to pass it? Yeah, maybe. Incredible animation cartoons coming out of NASA. They're just really knocking them out of the park lately. So that's Io and Europa. So there's that. And NASA captured this image of the sun smiling like a jack-o'-lantern, of course. You know, these are all cartoons. You can look at the sun and you won't see this stuff unless they add in all that other fanciness to it. So just saying. So you can make it look like whatever you want if you're NASA. Just ask your animators. They're now thinking there's a tunnel on the moon, of course. I don't know. They think they've discovered a cave and a tunnel. And yeah, it could be a boon for lunar exploration. So, but I saw Star Wars. There's like some creature lives in there is going to eat you. It's not even the slee stacks. It's way bigger. So I don't think a cave and a hole in the moon is a good thing. And then, yeah. And then we got these two stuck in space. And you know it's real because look at her hair, right?
Feeling in my
Because that looks so natural, doesn't it? I mean, if you've ever seen women in 0G, the hair is flying around all separately and flowing. Not sprayed like with crazy amount of hairspray, so it looks like it's upside down. It's ridiculous that people think that that's real. I mean, come on. What else do I have to do to just present it? Honestly, you got to be able to see that. All right. And here's the weird thing. We're getting to this stage, people think that they'll always be able to understand. Oh, Melanie just showed up. All right. We're going to find this thing here. We got to stop the whole show. All right. Where is it?
Melanie, it's all your fault.
And then where'd it go? All right. Anybody that just showed up, you get this.
I don't feel dirty.
All right. Woo! Stay after class, smash erasers, that whole thing. All right. Let's go back into this. Now we go back to the show. All right. You down there? Quiet now. Cujo. All right. This is getting weird. I don't know if I showed it last week or if you've seen it, but you can find it on the internet. All the memes that you see, and I could describe some of them you might recognize. There's like a little girl and there's a house on fire, and the one where the guy's walking with his partner and another gal walks by and he looks. They took and they put all these memes into an AI computer program, and it brought them all to life. And I've seen a few of them now. And so when people think that, oh, I saw it on TV, it's real. AI is getting to the stage that you don't know what is real. These are the same person meeting themselves earlier in life. And it's all done through AI. So, when we think that we'll be able to spot things, this is a stage that they're showing us. That they have even better than this, because this came out like in a minute, right? We just got AI technology and now they're doing this stuff. So you're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's not anymore if you're seeing it on one of these screens. I just found this entire video just fascinating, that they could do this kind of technology already. We saw it, they would take an actor that was older and they put him in, like Tron. I think they put a young face on the dude. And but now the technology, it's just wild. So anyways, thought that was interesting. I mean, you think that you're going to know like an alien invasion or something. You can't even tell when they're messing with you. I'm telling you, it's getting to that stage. I thought this was interesting. This guy talks about that there's multiple places in Utah that are named after things in the Bible. And because a lot of people are saying it's hard to tell. There's biblical areas all over, it seems. But listen to what this guy says.
That Moses went through the plains of Moab.
All right.
This is Moab, Utah. And then he proceeded to Mount Nebo. This is Mount Nebo in Utah. Then the Bible states he went to the top of Mount Pisgah. This is Mount Pisgah. And across from Mount Pisgah is Jericho. This is Jericho, Utah. That's crazy. And there's also a river named Jordan in Utah. Just something to think about.
So, I find that since everything's been lied to us, who's to say? I mean, we know that the maps have been changing from the way they used to have them. California actually had like an island piece, and now that's not there. And the North Pole actually existed with some cities and stuff, and now that's just gone. It's ice or water now. So who's to say? I find it interesting because there's Nivenas across the United States and other biblical towns, but to have this many things, so chicken or egg. Did all these things get named after the stuff that's over in the other area, or vice versa? It's interesting. Just, another thing to just kind of, think on. Don't lose any sleep over it, of course. And then these guys that they found this area in the subway that they kicked open and they went into because they're skinny enough, of course. How many of us could fit through that area? So, and look at, and like we've discussed, there's complete underground roadways throughout this. And I've shown this before too, that they have these tunnel systems. You can drive across the country basically. And so they continue on their little journey here, and they found tons of rooms. And I don't know what these, the pipes and stuff probably do something with the city that's there. They got to an elevator, so they don't even know how far down this goes. So we're living on whatever the old world was and the destruction that happened and it got buried. We're living on the recreation on top. And that's why I completely believe that we're in the little season, short season, whatever you want to call it, after all these events of like Revelation and stuff. That's what I believe. But yeah, it's pretty wild. And this is in, I think this is Maryland. There's There's women in dinosaur costumes that have been walking around and harassing motorists. And see, they warned us that the lizard people were coming. See, and they're already here. They're in Maryland walking around. Freaking hilarious. People have, I think, are funny and also a lot of extra time on their hands, it seems like. So, all right. Let's see. What's next? And this, every once in a while, well, not every once in a while, a lot of times I'll show something to my wife and she gives me the face like, nah, but I don't know. This one still makes me laugh. And what this guy did is he took Snapchat filter and he turned it on and he pointed it at the people behind him. And is it just me? I don't know. I find this funny. I didn't even know they had all these different filters, but it's pretty funny. See, here I go again. This is my humor. Okay. Thank you all for coming, but this is what I find funny. Oh my goodness. I think this guy actually sees it and kind of thinks it's funny. I don't know. It's hard to tell because he's making the face off the Snapchat. So I don't know. I'm pouring more coffee. That one I love. I love this one. I didn't even know they had these on Snapchat. And then you got the Dennis Rodman look, I guess. So, was that all of them? I think that was it. Is there more? Oh, yeah, this one. I like this one. It's like a Neanderthal man or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone with this, but I think it's pretty darn funny. And then we'll get this guy too. So, all right. Enough of that. Enough of that nonsense on the new nonsense. Okay. How about this one? 10 years from now, you'll put on a jacket and you'll find a mask in the pocket and say, oh man, what a weird year that was. And you'll chuckle to yourself. And then you'll pick up your machete and continue across the wasteland, keeping to the shadows to avoid the roving gangs of cannibal raiders. Okay. And this blew me away. How far we have fallen. In the 80s and 90s, Al Bundy was considered fat and poor. Fat and poor. Oh my goodness. It's pretty wild. And it's not that long ago that this all went down, So, all right. What am I doing here? I want to click over here and see how everyone's doing. Okay. We're good over there. All right. Just checking on y'all. There we go. Okay. Let's go from there. Get rid of this. What's the dumbest thing you believed as a child? That nap time was a punishment? Truer words have probably never been said on this channel. And this one I believe I got this from Melanie. It says San Francisco either has a huge homeless problem or a gigantic camping success story. That's Rob Schneider said that's pretty great. And this one came in right at the buzzer as I was getting ready to turn the show on. But if you are married and like say my age, I totally get this. Do married people watch Gen Z dating and feel like they caught the last chopper out of Nile? Yes. Yes, we do. I think that's the perfect way of announcing that. And it looks like to me that Annette was trying to sneak in.
I don't feel dirty.
So there. Thought you could get away with it. All right. What's next? This is just disturbing on so many levels. Like the fact that not only do these creatures exist, but we still accept this whole royalty thing where everything's gold and gemstones. And, they have the same concerns over in their country as we have in the United States of poverty, people that are having trouble like paying mortgages and stuff. Can you imagine seeing this? And they have little boys that like carry his cape around and stuff. It's just bizarre that we continue to do this. And we never left England. We're still part of it. That's a whole fake story that we broke away over tea. But that's for another evening. So enough of these people, whatever they are. And this one, only because I don't know. But it was, I don't know, for me, this was lethargic. Is that what the word is? You know? It gave me some satisfaction. I don't know why. Oh, there you go. Not that I have anything against the Minions, but I don't know. That just gave me some satisfaction that I didn't understand I was going to have. But there you go. The Minions. How many movies they got of those guys? More. I mean, I don't even think I think I saw the very first one with Steve Carell in it. But after that, I haven't seen any of the other ones. So they're apparently pretty popular. So now you want popcorn? It did sound like popcorn. Okay, what's next? I thought this was interesting. This is in a Tokyo newspaper. This is how they see the two political parties. Of course, you know, this is the Democrat left and it's blue, and the leader doesn't know what he's doing, and they're into like basketball, and I'm not sure what these are, and sushi and rap music and Starbucks, electric cars, NYT. I don't know what that is. New York something. And then, of course, you got the rainbow and all that stuff. CNN, they got their Macs. And I don't know what these are. Stereos, pizza boxes. I'm not quite sure. Hospitals. I don't know. Maybe someone else knows. But, and then you go over here on the R, and, you know, it's red, and you got, you know, someone that looks like kind of they know what they're doing. And fried chicken. Yeah, okay. And baseball, it's all American. You got country music. I don't know why they chose Pepsi over Coke. I would say Coke, but hey, maybe that's just my 80s thinking. Okay, so then we got, looks like a school with American flag and a truck with gas, Wall Street Journal. Oh, that's the New York Times. Okay. A computer, a church, of course, and then Fox News. So isn't that interesting? That's how they see it over there. So, okay. We're heading towards our political area. So I don't have to make fun of Biden. You just play him. This happened last, not too long ago, the other day.
I got your back as well. Members of Congress, Debbie Haley, and by the way, I want you to know that I've spent a lot of time with Debbie. She's helped me like a lot.
You know, and whenever he like shuts down and forget what he was going to say, he just says, by the way. It's like his segue. Yeah, we're here for Debbie, and by the way, I spent a lot of time with Debbie. Did you now? Okay. See, you don't have to like, you just play it. It's just its own thing. How about this one? This one was great. So he's speaking at the NAACP, which is I don't know the numbers and letters, but it's the it's for the National Associated Advancement of Colored People. Are you even allowed to say that anymore? They might need to change, right? Shouldn't they change their logo? I thought that's interesting. So he says this. I know what a black job is, he says. Is the Vice President of the United States. He said that. I didn't. He said it. I mean, of course, I just repeated it, but I said what he said. That's what she said. But yeah. So there you go, from the NAACP, if they're allowed to say that anymore. All right. And then this, I think, was my favorite of the week. He's talking to this blonde, and I swear he thinks it's his wife, Jill, until she comes over and he goes, "Oh, you're not Jill. You're Jill." Then he still follows the other gal, though. Isn't that the greatest? That's one of the greatest clips. He's like talking to Jill, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Jill. That's not me." Oh. It's fantastic. And you know what's interesting is, like, if you watch this little theater that's going on, they're really painting him as completely out of here at this point. There's so many of the Democrat side are asking for him to step down and all that. And then there's also a whole bunch of people that, you know, aren't crazy about Kamala. And so they want to like throw out the whole ticket, they're saying, not according to AOC. I'm up on all the gossip. And so Yeah, because he said he's not going anywhere. Now, he did just catch the C whatever that goes around, and maybe they'll take him out that way. I don't know. It's interesting. Fun and games. But, if you watch my last Yellowstone, I think it'd be awesome if here, let me stop this. I think it'd be awesome if instead of having a rematch of Trump Biden, I think what you do is you put in, do I say the dark horse, and you throw in Obama, right? And you'd have Trump versus Michelle, right? Michelle, whatever. Obama calls him Michael. So, and I kind of called the shot in my Yellowstone video. Check it out.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Coming soon to wherever your Tell-Eyes Vision plays your programming. It's the new series called Yellowstone. Episode Trace, Return of the Sith. It's a story of a family. It's a very corrupt family with a son and his sort of demented father and his evil twin sister. And then there's also, I guess now, a grandson's involved and a chef and that guy that nobody wants to admit they're friends with but go to his parties and islands. And it's the father says, I'm going to put you in jail. And the son says, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to put your grandson in jail. And meanwhile, the sister says, is no one still going to put me in jail? The one guy that did go to jail, well, I don't know what happened to him. It's very confusing. And now there's another brother involved, a brother and sister involved, and no one's going to jail. Very soon, but not yet. But the thing is, none of them really know that they're all just puppets to the real master. No, the real master. And so, they all play their parts. Who will win? Well, he doesn't know. Coming soon to your Tell-Eyes Vision, Yellowstone. Episode Trace, Return of the Sith.
Satellite tracking continues.
Right? So, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a much more exciting event if you had Trump versus Big Mike. So, we'll see. We'll see. Who's to say? Crazier things have happened and are happening. So, okay, good. So, bravo, you liked it. Okay, excellent. Now, I'm going to talk about that. I want to talk about his. That's part of the discussion we'll have on my Trump part. So, is it timeless? Thank you. Thank you. So, and I know there's a lot of new people here, like Bullish Terps. Cool name. I've just you might be new to me, so welcome. Okay, cool. Okay, are we good? I think I got everyone. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, a few more claps. Okay, we got to get those in. Clap, clappity clap. Amen. Clappity clap, clappity clap. And Jesus wins. Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, let's finish this segment here that we're at. And we'll go here, clickety click, and here, and here. All right. So that was the great video where he doesn't know which blonde lady is his wife. And this.
Today is today. And yesterday was today, yesterday. Tomorrow will be today, tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today as it is tomorrow.
Okay, just to add context, readers added context that people might want to know. This video is fake and be debunked several times. Okay, still funny. And once again, proving my point that a lot of people won't be able to tell when they fake things, whether it be alien invasion or other things in the news. You won't be able to tell. You weren't there. All you're going to get is this stuff, and you won't know. And by the way, just so you don't think I'm picking on her, you can take, because they even have it, I think they dropped it in here, the actual real speech. And the greatest thing is if you take her real speech, I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. But if you, all you have to do is just slow it down, and it sounds like some drunk person at a party. But yeah. So isn't that good? Yeah, it makes as much sense as listening to her normally. So I just thought that was pretty cool. Okay. So there's your choices on the left side. Then on the right, you've got this guy is the new VP, JD Vance, who most everyone never heard of. But what people are saying that's got me interested is, look how far back his eye is. Like they say, is he wearing a mask? Which cracks me up because we talk about that stuff all the time. We've proven that they've had like separations and stuff and ears that change or whatever. And the fact that like normies are asking that, whatever that means, is funny to me. But yeah, they're pretty sunk in. So, and he's got a whole bunch of interesting things about it. He used to be a complete Trump hater, and now he's a lover. And what is this? At the Republican National Convention, they had this lady named Amber Rose, who specifically says, she got tattoos on her head too, on her forehead. She says that she doesn't believe in God, and she's an atheist, and she doesn't believe of Jesus, but she can get behind Buddhism. And why am I bringing this up? Well, for a few reasons. One is, she's at the Republican National Convention. I think she opened it one night or closed it. Her name, Amber Rose, for the people that are on board with the Q stuff, Ambrosia, and it's a startup company that invests that harvests the blood of the young. This is all real. You can look into that. And who JD Vance worked for it. So that's kind of an interesting connection. And then he also says he worked at the same law firm as Barack and Michael. So just a lot of, coincidences. So just saying. And then they even throw Gates in here somewhere. As always, his name, the foundation, always shows up. So, but you got that going for them. And I thought this was funny. And we'll come back to why this I feel is important as far as her take on religion. But I thought this was funny. After the shooting, they decided to give RFK some protection. And I said to my wife when I read this article, I'm like, well, wouldn't they just do it because his name, Kennedy? I mean, don't you just, oh, you know what? That family, just send some people because everybody is out for them. I found it funny that they had to wait until the event, I guess we should call it, to say, okay, maybe RFK needs some too. And then he has this weird call where he talked to him. That's RFK. And he recorded Trump without his knowing on the phone and then posted it. He said it was like, I don't know. He stopped it but yet he still posted it. You know what I mean? When President Trump called me, I was taping and we should have ordered it to stop immediately. I'm mortified this was posted. What do you mean you're mortified? It's still up. It's got 15 million views. And he talks about how he something popped him like a giant mosquito. That's when he got the bullet hit his ear. So the first time he talked about it was to this guy. And I find it interesting too. He says it's an AR-15 or something. And those bullets are huge. So curious as to what his ear is going to look like, allegedly. All right. We're touching on getting towards the convention and the shooting and all that stuff. But first, I got to say, I didn't know these jobs existed, but how do I sign up? I do this. I mean, think about it. You got to get rid of them. But we're not going to watch him pop all of them. This video goes on for a ridiculously long amount of time. But yeah, can you imagine that? That's your job, because somebody's got to pop all those balloons. Seems a little gratifying. Yeah, why not? Right? You can take out some aggressions. Popping balloons. Okay. Get rid of that. All right. So let's stop for a second here. Let's regroup and see where everyone is. Okay. You hate politics. Everybody hates politics. You know what's interesting though? When you go back to the Bible, God was the only king judge that we needed. And the children of Israel, they're always griping in the Old Testament. They're like, they look around and everyone else has, government above them. And so they asked for kings. And so God, he gave them to us. Some of them are good kings. Some of them are bad kings. But it says basically we'll have it the rest of our lives. And so you're never going to get rid of government or politics. The problem is we were asleep at the wheel for so many years due to whatever you want to say, pineal glands, televised vision, pick your poison literally. And they lulled us asleep while a group of criminals slowly took over everything. And when I say everything, well, I don't have a guy that yells everything, but I have the guy that yells everyone. They took over everything and everyone. You just got to give that guy an Oscar every time he says that. I swear. He should say that in every movie. Yeah, he's a pretty amazing actor. But that's what makes them so good. They're chosen for those things. Because then later on, the influencers that tell you how to dress, tell you what to eat, tell you how to manage your family and so forth. I was talking to my wife and she said, why in society now, like you can be an actor and you could be older and you could have wrinkles and lines and stuff. And it's perfectly acceptable. You can still make People magazines, 50, 60s, whatever they have that thing of the year kind of stuff. But you can't if you're a woman. And we tried to think of the chat might come up with a few, but when you think of like actresses that have been around for a while, whatever, Julie Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, any of these like that, for my generation have been around, they're constantly carving up their face and reshaping themselves. And they're even using like that technology we talked about, ambrosia or foreskins. I'm not making it up. You go look at it. I think it was, who was it that was pushing that? I think that was, I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, famous people and models and stuff. And so they've taught an entire multiple generations now that you can't have any wrinkles. None of us knew what Botox was. I'd never heard of it. And then I found out it came like it's a poison from a frog or something. It made no sense to us regular people. And whenever you see these crazy things that they're doing, injections in the lips or the butt or whatever they're doing, it all comes from there. The fact that there's so many people in Hollywood that have like trans children, you know what I mean? It's like, it's part of the whole process. The fact that they're talented and the movies and TV and stuff that you watched that was entertaining, yes, they're very talented. That's why they hire those people. But there's always that dark agenda in the back of it. And if it doesn't come out right away, it comes out years later. And so like you see these people that you're watching and then they go out like, how many people love Robert De Niro in all kinds of movies? And then now he's on the streets screaming. And it's madness that they're pushing these agendas through these actors, through these idols. And God says not to have any idols. Does that mean you can't ever watch another show or movie again? No, I'm not saying that. Everyone needs to do their own whatever's comfortable. Like, for instance, I have trouble watching Tom Hanks anymore. So we haven't watched any of his stuff. But there's others I'll watch. I can't buy into all of this. But what I do know is there's definite agendas they push. And like I said, women have to not have wrinkles and lines and stuff. which, it's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of, someone that's I don't even know what to say about it, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how we are. And the fact that people have to carve themselves up and stuff to constantly look younger, again, that's an agenda that was pressed on us because it didn't start out that way. No, that's another reason why Hollywood's there. So, yeah, celebrities are called stars. Yeah. And then in the Hollywood, isn't the Holly? It's they used to make wands for casting spells. That's all real, by the way. People laugh and say, "Oh, that's in the movies and stuff." It's written about biblically that all that stuff works. Witches and whatever the men were, which is interesting. If you look up one of the high witches, not warlock, high witches, it's MAGA, MAGA. Just saying. So there's that. Okay. How do I get? Let's see. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, but Madonna. Yeah, here's Jen. I knew she'd jump in on a Madonna discussion. So yeah. But yeah, so that's what they're there for. What is this? See, there's other people like you can't watch Will Ferrell, John. I don't know who John Momoa is. Oh, is that? I know who that is. Yeah, Mimosa, right? No, wasn't he Aquaman? Maybe I don't know who that is, but yeah. So let's see, where are we at now? Okay, so that's all about Trump. Let's go over here. We'll see where we're at on this. Okay, there is something that I do want to bring up because, well, let's start with. I watched. I don't know. I enjoy it as theater. If you want to know my political stance, obviously, if you watch my Yellowstone series or even my soap, which is about the Q people and all that stuff, you'll understand that I truly believe at this point that they're all just anointed in. We played it last week. There's that 13-year-old girl. You can still find it on the internet where she proves that every president can be traced back to the same family, except for Trump, of course. But every president in history of the U.S. is all related. And the odds of that are impossible. There's no like computer number that's just impossible unless we've just been played all these years. And so you vote, and yet I don't know, maybe there's some people listening to the sound of my voice right now. But everybody I know, when I ask the person that's like in office in their local Congress or Senate or even their governor, I can't find anybody around me anyways that voted for any of the people that are in the positions I just mentioned. President, everyone votes. But those positions, I can't find anybody that voted for the people that are in these spots, like Inslee. He keeps getting in every year, and yet I can't find a single person that voted for him. And so here's the thing. Once your vote goes, you don't know what's going on after that. I mean, I know they say that the elections are stolen and all that stuff, but we really don't know once they're off where they get tallied so that we can see who won. And that's throughout history. I mean, you think we have problems now in 2024. What do you think the voting was like in the early 1900s? And so whoever they want in goes in. And it's the left wing and the right wing, and it's the same bird of prey, and it feasts on us. It's just the way it is. There's only two choices. The only time we ever did have the closest in my lifetime, anyways, that we had a third choice was that little dude from Texas, Ross Perot. He was like a cow rancher or something, and he was super rich. And he'd come on stage, and he was the funniest one. And he would say they're both idiots and vote me in. And then they made him sound crazy, but he started saying that like they're following him, they're following his daughter, they're making death threats to him, and he dropped out of the race. Of course, I don't know who picks the VPs unless it's again part of the theater, but he got some old guy that was his VP pick, and nobody knew who he was, and he looked as bad as Joe Biden. Well, maybe Joe Biden's a little worse, but he was equal, pretty close. It didn't look like he knew where he was pretty much most of the time, and everyone made fun of him. But everyone was like, "Well, we just have to deal with Perot anyways." But he dropped out, and it looked like he might actually win it, and I think that's why they went after him. Do I believe that they started following him and his daughter and stuff, and making threats? I do. But regardless, they took that option away. So we've only been a two-party system. That's all you ever get to vote for. And they programmed us perfectly to where people will literally look at a voting thing, know nothing about the candidates, but see an R or a D and vote that way. It's the same reason there's signs all over the streets when it get close to election time. Is because you know nothing about them, but you remember that sign, the last name was whatever, and oh, I recognize it, check the box. Are they an R or D? Okay, and that's it. Oh, thanks, Melanie. Thanks. You're awesome. Thank you very much. I'm telling you, my memberships have really helped out our house here, so thank you, everyone that's a member there. I'm trying to do a few more things for members when I can. But thank you so much, because it keeps me from having to do more things outside of here, and I can continue, hopefully, keeping up with the quality of the show that you've all come to know and love. You could say I hit the wrong button, but I think that was the correct one. All right, so thank you, Melanie. Okay, all right, what do we have here? Yeah, I really believe it was. I don't think they made him sound crazy, but I think they really did. Is there a giveaway going on? What did I miss out? Is there a giveaway? All right, let's see. And guideline strike, funny name. All right, seeing as how you announced that you're tardy, if I could find him. You think that I'd have that one? I'm gonna have to move that to a better spot, but here you go.
I don't feel tardy. I don't feel tardy.
All right, you got two. So there you go. All right, what are we doing here? Oh, that was his name, right? Gary Johnson. Thank you. Yeah, that guy always looked like he didn't know where he was. He didn't know his name either. It's pretty amazing. So, all right. Anything else? Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's go on from there. So we're discussing, we were talking about how there's only two parties, and they've got it to the point where people don't even care about the candidates or anything. We've hit that moment of idiocracy. Everyone's making connections to it, because if you didn't catch, where'd it go? It's one of these. Okay, it's right after that. If you didn't catch any of the convention, I had to watch it for you all. So I took the hit for you. But again, I find him funny. So this is not the actual convention. This is from the movie Idiocracy, where the president is basically a professional wrestler. And let me see if am I sharing. Make sure. Okay, good. So this is actually a movie. This is where they tell you real life, where Hulk Hogan introduced the RNC convention, as he rips off his shirt and then continues to disrobe and do the thing that he used to do when he was a wrestler for all these years, and tear his shirt and scream.
I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again.
So how's that any different than what we were just showing you with the other thing? Like, if I could reach I'll reach her. I'll get the other one. Here. And here we are.
And so here we are. Here we are.
Here we are. We're there. We're at the moment Idiocracy, where the big wrestler guy comes out on stage. And an interesting thing, when I first started my channel, the first strike I remember getting was because I played a video where Trump was with wrestlers and wrestling and throwing them on the ground and stuff. And I was letting people know that he was an actor playing a part, and I got a strike for it. And then there's this. Imagine telling people in 1994 that in 30 years, these two will be on stage and one will be running for president for a second time. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's letting people know this is all staged. They're actors acting. And if that wasn't enough, so he gets let's back up. Let's go to, let's see. We'll go to the shooting. So unless you were living under a rock somewhere, the president went and did a rally. I think it was in Pennsylvania. And they shot at him, allegedly, supposedly.
Something that said, take a look at what happened. Oh.
And then somebody put this together.
Fight, Daddy. My love, you must fight.
Fight. I love you, Dad. I'm proud of
I can't even play it all. I can't even play it all. And it's like his life flashing before his eyes while a bunch of people are saying, I love you, Daddy, and fight. And then, of course, he wakes up. There's no Jeffrey pictures in here, of course. But then, of course, he wakes up. And what does he do? He goes and says, fight, right? And they play Rocky music.
Fight.
Okay, so I'm not going to play that. But let's start here. First of all, for my Q people, this guy's Vincent Fusca. You're like, who's that? He's had all kinds of rallies. For many years, there was people saying he was JFK Jr. I don't know if they still do. But here, let me get out of this for a second. I need to talk to you all. My awakening process started like this. I had time off of work for the first time in like 50 years. And my wife did at the same time. And so we started having the TV on in the background while we were working around the house. And I started seeing anomalies in news that didn't make sense to me. And then, of course, we went into YouTube streams and found, people like Brian Staveley that teach you that everything is a lie. And so that's how we ended up like dissecting this whole thing. But at the same time, they kept telling us that Trump was here to save us. He's outside the system. He's going to bring down all of the bad people of the deep state. He's going to throw Hillary in jail, and he's going to clean house. That's that we were fed. Along with that was the whole Q narrative that he was working with someone, God, whatever. And the Q person was supposedly JFK Jr. that didn't die. And he sometimes is that Vincent Fusca, who's he's always behind Trump in a bunch of rallies. So that's kind of the background. I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen it, here, I have, let's see. Is this it? Oh, no, this is the WWE. Oh, I can play this one.
Satellite tracking continues.
Like that one. Hopefully you all like that too. All right, let me find it here. Hang on a second. Clickety click. We'll go here. Where are you at? Because I know there's a lot of new people to my channel.
So we'll roll this out, and you get a better idea of what's happening. Yeah. And this video goes back 3 years, and yet I feel it's still relevant today. Go figure. Let's see. How do I do this? Share screen. No, share tab with audio. Can you all see that? And can you hear it? Did you hear audio? I know you're in the past. So wait to see what you all have to say. And hi, Denver, over on Rockford. Vance got a boost from the Jewish Republican Coalition. Nice. Okay, we got sound. This will give you a better idea. Here, oops, how do I get out of that? Let's see. Put it like that. Oh, there we go. That works. Play. Why isn't it playing? Play. This is a story about Q. When we last left Attorney General Barr, whose father's the one that got Jeffrey Epstein his first job at a school when he had no experience, had sent him to jail, and he left his $77 million mansion, which he paid $10 for in New York City, where he was abruptly suicided by someone, to go after more child sex trafficking rings, including Nexium with Allison Mack. While they're still looking for the people who took Madeline, the island, which may or may not have had real buildings and may or may not have burnt down, all the kids that sat on buckets have now been rescued into the comfort and joy and shipped off to somewhere safe. Trust the plan. Meanwhile, A.G. Barr is going after Loretta Lynch, Andrew McCabe, and his lover Lisa Page, and these three clowns. Anybody remember what happened to Comey or Mueller? What about Seth Rich? Does anyone know anything about him other than he's a horrible dresser and he likes America? His emails, which President Trump apparently has, because Seth Rich gave them to Julian Assange, and that was transferred to President Trump via soccer ball on live television. But unfortunately, as we've now found out, Sean Hannity may have lost all those. But never fear, there was a copy on Carlos Danger's laptop. And what about the letters that were handed out at the funeral, including one to Vice President Pence? No one seems to care anymore. Does this mean Hillary's still not going to jail? Trust the plan. And has anyone ever seen this child again? Does this woman have anywhere to eat anymore, and do we even care? And does this woman know that she's being called a loser yet? Has Kamala Harris figured out what race she is or when she actually smoked pot? And what in the heck is going on in Africa, for real? Why do we no longer care that if OJ killed his wife or not, even though he announces it so many times? Why have you never understood the Q map or the Q clock? You know I'm right. Why can no painter from the Renaissance paint a baby that doesn't look like a demon child? Why do people not believe that the media is controlled by just a few companies? Is it because they still believe that there's a secondary camera taking a picture of the ISS, or that this car's flying around in space and his tires are fine, or that this looks like the Earth if you just change the color to orange? Probably no one will, because they still believe in the media is not faking it to them, and they walk around in very hypocritical stances. The aliens have tried to tell us these things, but no one's listening. Will anyone ever read what's on the box of the mask that they're putting on their faces? Will they ever look into the side effects on shots that they get in their arm? Is anyone ever going to try to take the moon lander underwater to see if it actually can hold against the vacuums of space or water pressure? These and other nightmarish things will be revealed to you in the upcoming weeks and months and years of this ridiculous soap opera that they put on and tell us is real life.
Satellite tracking continues.
All right. Oh. Gotta get rid of that. What was that? Whoa. Whoa, everyone calm down. So what do you think of that? Okay, that should explain it to you very well, I think. Did that 3 years ago, and it still holds up. So, but I was at that level where we'd turn on, who was it on? We were watching Fox, of course, and we'd turn on, let's see, Tucker Carlson, and he was the cozy guy, and he'd just like, come on, settle down, have a cup of coffee, and we'll talk. And then Sean Hannity would come on and be like, all right, buckle up, everyone. And then he'd rant that whole thing, at which I turned into a classic, as some people call. So I turned it into that. And so that's what's going on. That's still to this day. Thank you, Jan. And thank you, Crazy John. I always say that in my head because it's all caps. So, oh, and what's this? I saw something, Trisha, of course. Guideline strike. I'm apparently there's a new listener to me. His name is Lance, which is fantastic because if you listen to my joke last week, it was about that and how there aren't that many people named Lance today. But if you go back into the medieval times, well, they were named Lancelot. So there you go. You got a live joke. You got a live dad joke. So welcome. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. Ed, yeah, check this out. I took these pictures, and we were blessed enough to go over to Europe and see some of these things. And these are all supposed to be, well, they said Madonna and Babino, which would be Mary and Jesus, according to this. But I was tripping out because it seemed like no matter how good the painter was, they couldn't paint babies. I mean, that's like one of the best. And you get this creature. And this one, which looks like an alien. And this one, I mean, I never understood this. That's why I was taking pictures of these things. Oh, look at that. I never realized it. That one's holding a bird. More things about birds. Look at that. Interesting. And this thing. Yeah, these are all supposed to be Jesus, I believe. Maybe not that one. Yikes. I don't understand why they had, look at that. I don't understand why they couldn't paint a baby face. Look at this one. My goodness. So, yeah. And that one's supposed to be baby Jesus. Anyways, enough of that nonsense. Okay. So let me see. That file is called Demon Baby. You like that? Okay. What else do I have here? I need to get rid of some of these tabs. Let's see. We'll cover that one later. Oh, let's bring that one up. Let's look. What do we got here? Share screen. There we go. Okay. Someone had to say it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, what's next? I thought this was interesting because I've shown this before, but they're pushing this really big again. 20 years later, this is making a comeback. And again, isn't it interesting? All they do is kill the chickens. If it's truly a bird flu, why aren't they killing the other birds? No, they only kill the chickens. So it's a chicken flu. But yeah, remember we did the Ebola one? That was nuts. They told you were going to like just be on a plane and start crapping yourself. Good times there. Zika, I think this one came out of mosquitoes. I don't even know what this one was. So, but yeah, nothing changes. There's nothing new under the sun. Of course, it's not said that way anymore, but close enough. There's this, the fact that people think this is normal. So there's that. And the fact that your toothpaste actually says, if you swallow, get medical help or contact poison control right away. And what little 2-year-old doesn't accidentally swallow toothpaste? So If you're still using toothpaste with fluoride in it, go to a tooth powder. You can find them on the internet, or just get something without the fluoride. Again, I'm not a doctor. Check with your medical, dental, and legal advice. These are my experiments that I do on myself. But if you look into pharmakia, again, things that are written about, it's real. God talks about these things. And the fact that this symbol is what we have now for medicine, this is not the symbol for medicine, because the story actually goes back to a single pole and a single snake. And where does that come from? Back in the days of Exodus, when the children of Israel were leaving. Let me change my screen share thing here. There I am. When the children of Israel were leaving, they of course they're walking through the desert, and they're bitching constantly. And so they were bitching, either they had no food or no water. I mean, they kept doing it. And they were exasperating God, and he would send plagues on them, to like say, cool your jets. You're being disobedient. You're like, you would correct any child. Only his punishments were pretty, hardcore. And so if you got bit by one of these snakes that were in the camp, you'd die. And so if you got bit by it, he had Moses set up I think it was a brass pole with the serpent on it. And if you were to get bit, you could look at it and you'd be healed. That's the story. And so that's where you get the serpent on the pole. But this caduceus that they use now for the modern medicine, no, that was for like money, banking and stuff. That's not the symbol. It's been changed. And you can look up, pharmakia and the root words about sorcery and witchcraft and so forth. And then read the prophecies on it in Revelation. They didn't repent of their murders or their sorceries. For your merchants were the great men of the earth, for by your sorcery all the nations were deceived. The sorcerers shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Blessed are he who do his commandments, that they may enter through the gates in the city, but outside are sorcerers. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So that stuff's real. Make no mistake. We live in a supernatural world. And so that stuff's real. What I find fascinating is people will believe in witchcraft and Ouija boards and ghosts and everything. Still have a problem believing in God. Because, see, that's what I feel is the devil's greatest trick. And you can quote me, is that it's not that he made it so we couldn't see that he exists. It's so he made it so we can't see God exists. People believe in the devil and they believe in evil, but they still don't believe in God. And let's never forget the evil that was brought upon us, that was told to be normal. People accepted this as normal behavior. I never did, but it was. I never accepted this. That's what really started me doing this so much, is I had to get the word out that this was unacceptable. And if they end up, I mean, look at that. If they end up doing this again, I mean, what is that thing? Shame. If you get fooled, shame on them. If you get fooled twice, shame on you. I mean, we shouldn't have stood for this the first time. And if they roll it out again, I don't know what to say. So what is this? Oh, that's pretty funny. See, I can't even read my own memes on these. And we're supposed to believe that some guy with remedial tools was able to carve all this out and stuff. They had ways of doing things that we don't even understand. And we never will, because they didn't teach us. They kept it all hidden from us. It's all secrets. Like the fact that the summit of Mount Everest is made of marine limestone, which has to mean that it was underwater at some point, which sounds like maybe a giant flood. Just saying. God says no flesh survived. That would make sense. And here's a bunch of people that are actually excited because they're going to the moon, as you would expect them to look. And then here's how excited they are when they actually didn't go and realize they have to lie to the American public. I mean, That's the only explanation. I'll see how you have another one. Because why do they look like they're so depressed? Because they realized here they thought they were going to the moon. Here they realized they didn't, and they're lying to everyone. What did I think Brian used to call them? Agents against humanity. Yeah. We're at war with an invisible enemy. It's a spiritual battle. If you don't believe that, I don't know what else to tell you, but we're in a spiritual war. And this, I truly believe, shows the season that we're in, where Lucifer, which this is representation, has been released. And that's the world that we live in. I don't know how this one got in there. This is not funny. I don't know how that one got in there. Let's skip on past. Yeah, and how about this? Michael Jackson and Michael Jackson, right? I can't explain that other than the bloodlines, I guess, just keep going. And this guy's eating a straw to prove the turtles are bitches. I like that. And this driver told the kids to go F themselves and then abandoned the bus at a gas station. People are losing their stuff. Okay, is that it? And yeah, to my Christian friends that still believe we're on a ball flying through space, you'd have to go against all of these passages to believe that. And man, if you don't believe scriptures or Jesus or any of this, I don't know. I can only give you the information. You have to you got to let it in. So, and that is a good example of who God is, and the atheist delusion that this has a creator, but this came by accident, of course. I don't know about the whole thing. They lied to us where we are. Oh, this is a map for my Australian friends. So I believe this is how maps look in Australia. It's from what I understand. That's what I was told anyways. And what else? Oh, and this. We can cover. I got a Mandela effect that I think I found. But this one, this is the way I remember HIPAA being spelled. And this was at the Illinois Department of Human Services and HIPPA, because it was, as I remember. Oops, where'd it go? Dang. Here. I remember this. The Health Insurance Portability and Privacy Act. But now if you're playing along, the Mandela effect has changed this. It's always been and never will be changed, at least unless it flips again. The Health Insurance Portability, it's no longer private. It's the Accountability Act, because you're going to be held accountable. And that was right around the time when we were doing all that stuff in those years of 2020 and so forth. So that's how I remember it, the top one. What's this? Engraven images. Though they have mouths and do not speak, they have eyes and they do not see. And yeah, there's no difference. And I even include this. Because you think Jesus wants to see him on the cross? No, it's finished. Now, I have no problem if you want to have a cross. We have them in our house, or if you want to wear a cross. But putting Jesus on the crucifix, I think, is completely man-made, because you're not supposed to do that. In my opinion, just saying. Yeah, and there's the new ticket, Joe and Mike, for 2024. I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't either. This one just talks about why you should only read the KJV, because these new translations are taking out so many different books. And this happened. Let's not forget what they did to our children. This was dancing so you wouldn't give each other the illness. And there was a lot of people that didn't even get prom or graduation or any of this stuff. They robbed it from our children. And if we let this stuff happen again, it's on us. I can't imagine, but you never know. I didn't think that it would go as far as it did the last few years, but it did. So, all right, what's next? Yeah, there's no coincidences. We'll go over this star symbol because it's not what they say it is. It's it's not the Star of David, but these symbols, look at these. There's no coincidences. So, okay. All right. That's enough. We'll get out of that. Let's see. I think I got everything in that one anyways, mostly. Oh, and I just thought I'd show this real quick. I happened to come across, I had taken some screenshots because I was going over the debt clock. And this was March of 2020. And of course, you see it's at 23 trillion, I think is the number. And this is our number. This is what every U.S. citizen would owe. At that time, 63,000 is your personal debt that you owe. And then a year later, we were at 64,000 and 28 trillion. And then on the November 3rd, 2023, so that was last year, we're up to 74,000 as your personal debt. And of course, our favorite number, 33 trillion. So that was the 23rd. But I found this interesting too. If you look back on these, you see this area here. Now watch, when I go to the next one, suddenly they have in purple charitable donations. Like, what is that? And worker compensation, but charitable donations, when did that show up? Oh, obviously it showed up in the 2023s because it's still there. See, now our charitable donations are up to, what is that, 578? Is that trillion too? I don't even know. But now we're at 34,946. So we're on our way to 35 soon. And each person now owes $76,048. Excuse me. So we're at 548 charitable. Now we're at 578. Excellent. We just print money, so it doesn't even matter, right? It doesn't even matter. All right. So that's your debt clock look. Now, between the two, obviously, I would prefer Trump. Why did I say that? Because he says he's funny, he's entertaining, and he says all the right things that people want to hear. Like, they want the wall, he's building the wall. They want the MS-13 gang, which is, where'd they come from? Like ISIS, we don't even hear about anymore. It's the new boogeyman, and it's right at your border. See, all the other boogeymans are always somewhere else that we bomb the shit out of those countries, bomb them before they show up here. Now, apparently, they're all here. So that's the new boogeyman. It's right outside your door. And am I to say that the stories that the president told are untrue? Absolutely not. Unprovable, I'm certain. You can't prove it one way or the other. But, man, they make great stories. And he would bring up a person just living their lives, mother of 5, and then gets brutally attacked by the MS-13. And then, of course, they get to go back and they never get caught. And so he's just saying all these talking points. They're just revving up this crowd. And he says all that he wants to lower taxes. He wants to get rid of all these mandates to make people have to create and buy electric cars. He wants to start drilling. In fact, he started, and it's just like Idiocracy. He says something and then the whole freaking audience chants it. It's nuts. It's wild to watch, honestly. I kept leaning over my wife going, this is like incredible theater that's going on. Because he would just, he'd say, we're going to start drilling. What do you say? Drill, baby, drill. And then the whole audience starts chanting that. Like, I swear, and they already had T-shirts printed. So it's fascinating to watch. What I do want people to understand is no matter who's in the office, the agenda continues on. The hero of that story, as they say, I see it as good cop, bad cop. One cop brings you donuts, but he's still trying to throw you in jail. So he shows up and he says all the right things and he gets into office. He said he was going to throw Hillary in jail, which of course never happened. I used to joke and say, she's at Barnes and Noble. I'll go pick her up myself. But no, that never happened. And then in addition to that, he started Warp Speed, which was, look into it if you don't know. I can't talk about that. He even held up companies. I'd never seen a president do that before. Like he was advertising for the best companies to make the thing to stick it in you. And he would like he would say how wonderful it is and how he got it and stuff. And he's got the boost, all that and everything. And then he'd say, but I understand everyone should be able to do what they want. So rather than the mandate, force you, fire you kind of push that you got during the Biden years, his was more kind of laid back, but he always encouraged people to get it because he would say that if you didn't get it, you'd die. And you guys all remember, and gals and couches, the video that started it off from China where people were just standing on the street and they would just fall flat on their face because they got it. That's how this all started. Like we thought we were in that movie with was it Dustin Hoffman or whatever, Outbreak, or there's a whole bunch of them, but that's what it seemed like. And they were scaring the crap out of people because something they saw in the televised vision. And so he pushed all that through. That all came about on his watch. He started Space Force, which to this day, I mean, you know how I feel about space. So what in the hell is Space Force actually training for and doing? Because they're gonna be like Bruce Willis and go up there and shoot down meteors and stuff. I mean, nobody can even tell me what they do. It's just another big whole waste of money. And they go to the same parties and they hang out at the same group. They have more in common with each other than they'll ever have with us. They're our kings. And that's, you don't get to do much against the king. This is the system that we've created over these years, and we've allowed it to take shape. And well, as she says, and so here we are.
And so here we are.
Because we're here. We've allowed this to happen, and now vote for who you want, but nothing's going to change. They're going to do their agenda. And look, build the wall. Great. So the wall, think about this. It's all about perspective. If you build a wall all the way around the United States, okay, maybe you keep the bad people out, as they say. But haven't you just walled in everyone inside the United States? I mean, the days when you go, oh man, we got to get out of here. Let's head down to Mexico. That's going to be gone. Well, let's get out of here. We got to go to Canada. That's going to be gone. They're isolating us. Am I speaking conspiracy theory crazes? Maybe, but it's a wall and it keeps people out on both sides or in on both sides. Just saying. So, but again, between the two, I'd rather have someone that seems like he knows what he's doing. Like, then we get along with North Korea and all these other countries. And I get it. I know it's all one big system. When I play that video where the real master, and it's Satan, is Beelzebub, whatever you want to say, it's because there are puppet masters above the shadow that we even see. And how can I prove that? The entire world, every country in the world, not just seems to have a treaty with Antarctica, but they all shut down at the same time during this demic that went down. Even the countries that don't like each other and won't listen to each other, they all went lockstep and did everything the same across the world. So there's always a bigger fish higher up than we'll ever know. And so would I rather have someone that's walking around bumbling and that situation and taxes and all this and the inflation, all this? I mean, at least in Trump's day, the things you can see visually, the gas was like what, $1 to $2, and it's doubled and tripled in the current state that we're in. And so would I like to see some relief just like everyone else? Absolutely. And so he goes up on stage and he promises everything. I was making fun of it, saying, cookies for everyone on Saturday. It's like whatever you wanted to hear. He said he's not going to have men and women's sports anymore. How is he even going to do that? You know what I mean? But he's just whatever. It was all just coming out. Promises. He didn't care. And then he even said this. Yes, I want to buy your vote. And everyone laughed and cheered. USA. It's fantastic. It's such crazy theater. Yeah, it's a puppet show. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's pretty wild. And so he's entertaining, and he knows it. And so you get him up there, and let's see, where do I have? Where are my tabs? Let's get through some of these. All right, let's go back here. Clickety click, and here. All right, let's see. Where is it? Okay, so we covered this. So he stands up and he yells, "Fight, fight, fight," of course. First of all, he's like scrambling to get his shoes. Like, I don't understand why his shoes fell off, but whatever. And there's that Vincent guy. He's so tall. Why wouldn't they hide his head? Like, if a camera can shoot his head, anyone can with other things. I mean, you have an active shooter, and look at this. It's so ridiculous. Oh, that was probably a commercial for them. Okay. And everyone was like, no one seemed to be afraid for their lives. They're all filming and everyone's on their phones. Of course, they've got this. And you know how I feel about this. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, and this is some narrative to it. Donald Trump encourages and protects the frightened U.S. Secret Service members who cling to his massive balls as he leads them to safety after his failed assassination attempt. But look at, he's standing high up. Of course, there's not only did some photographer get this shot, but he also had a GoPro on him, coincidentally, so you could watch him take the iconic shot. It's so this looks staged. How about that? I'll say that. I can't say that it was. I wasn't there. But he's standing on a stage, just saying. And then someone had to do it. I think that's great. Great. And they want to have a bronze statue of it. Wonderful. This is honestly the best, if you want to call it PSYOP, this is like the best theater that we've had, I believe. It just doesn't stop. It's continuing on. They made an anime, which I don't know if I'm allowed to play, but they made an anime, and it's freaking great because when the guy shoots after he's dancing, Trump catches the bullet. Oh my goodness. Okay, you can't get any more badass than that. I saw this one video that it was a gal and she was playing both parts. And she said she was talking to a friend that was supposed to be liberal. And she's telling her friend, "Hey, Trump got shot today." And the liberal friend says, "Oh my gosh, is he okay?" She's like, "Yeah, he's okay. And he looked cool doing it." And she's like, "What do you mean he looked cool while getting shot?" She goes, "He did. He looked really cool." And she says, "Oh, what did he stand up and yell, 'Fight, fight, fight'?" And then the whole crowd chanted USA as he pumped his fist over the American flag. And she's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what happened." And the other guy goes, "Wow, that is pretty cool." So then you've got this guy.
What if I told you that the Holy Bible says not once but twice that blood on the right ear is a sign of consecration, is a sign of being devoted to God's service? That's the sign that the Lord instructed Moses to do for Aaron and his priest sons.
So in any case, he's not alone. There's a whole bunch of Christians, God-fearing Christians, that believe Trump is now been ordained and is working with God Almighty. And I'm here to present my side of this, saying that I'm not buying it. And here's why. I also like this one where he's the Terminator. That's pretty good. Let's see. We can get into the shooting and stuff. I'll come back to that. Put a pin in that thought, right? Rough. Because this was a wild angle. I don't know if you all saw this one.
Explain this. Okay, so you see that cop out there to the right?
We're talking about this guy.
One with the rifle. That's the presidential limo.
And everyone was watching, the clown show here with these ladies. But watch what this guy does with the rifle. Some MK Ultra kind of
Where
stuff.
Trump is already going inside after he's been shot.
So there's Trump still doing the fight fist. Like, it's just shocking to me that he towers above. When you go watch the Reagan one, and whatever was going on there, you can't even see him, and they throw him in there. And I've watched other ones. They've been playing them and showing you, like, other assassination attempts and how quickly they grab the guy and toss him in the car. You don't even see it. But watch this guy.
The cop seems to get some...
So Trump is right in there. He just got in.
Seems to get some type of order through his earpiece. And check this out. He fucking points the gun. It seems to point the gun inside the SUV.
Yeah, what was that? He's definitely pointing it at the SUV right after Trump gets in. He gets in, and then he hears something on the headpiece.
The cop seems...
Like, I don't know what they say on the Manchurian Candidate.
Seems to get some type of order through his earpiece.
Okay.
And check this out.
He's like, time to take him out. Oops, where'd he go? Yeah. Just saying. That's pretty wild. I don't know what's going on there. All right. So you had that going on. And then this. So this is where the snipers were. Let's see, make this larger. No, I don't want to buy the Wall Street Journal. So this is where the snipers were. This is where Trump was talking. Meanwhile, over on this building right here is where the shooter was. And they're saying that there was all kinds of cops and anti-terror, whatever, inside this building. They're saying they were actually in the second level of this building. But nobody saw the guy. Although there's a whole bunch of people on the ground that see him. And then, of course, yell and nothing happens for like 30 minutes. And the reason they weren't on this roof is they said it was too sloped. I mean, it's just like, it's complete nonsense. And now there's a whole thing about a second shooter, like, JFK, at this water tower. And the patsy, as we're calling him, they deleted his Discord account because they said there was nothing, it contained nothing related to the attack. Meanwhile, the guy has no social presence whatsoever, which is weird because he's supposed to be 20 years old. In addition to that, I thought this one was kind of funny. Someone should check out Pocahontas. That's what Trump calls her, not me. No, in addition to that, the guy has no social media, and yet they were able to find this video of him getting bullied in school. Now, you're telling me a bully messing with him also has a camera person filming it and then hangs on to this for how many years so they can like upload it and show you this? Just like the panda bears, this is seeming sus to me. How about this one? This is supposedly him walking around aimlessly right before the shooting. This guy's wearing the exact same outfit. And he very similar face and hairdo as to the guy that ends up on the roof. Then again, other people saw it, many people saw it, and they were yelling at the cops to go do something about it. And of course, we live in this is the Truman Show. And then I thought this is really funny because the Secret Service said they couldn't go on that roof because the slope was too unsafe. And then somebody posted a cow walking on the same kind of roof. So that's pretty funny. All right. And then this was just another really interesting angle. You can still see Trump's head there as they put him in the car. And then, these, the diversity hires. Oh my God. People are comparing him to Melissa McCarthy. And I mean, they're all worried about just how they look and their hair and their glasses. This one can't put her gun away. See, she's got to put her coat, make sure she looks cool. And the whole question on this lady that can't figure out how to put her gun away. If you have an active shooter and the president's still getting in the car, why are you putting it away anyways? Why'd you take it out? Might as well keep it out, right? They don't know what they're doing. No one told them what to do in a situation like this. I think they just started yesterday. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty wild. And there's more video of them just doing really like Three Stooges kind of stuff. So that was interesting. And then, of course, you get this. They didn't waste any time. The FBI DEI hire includes badge, weapon, sunglasses, a holster puzzle, rubber stamp to bypass pesky merit and base advancement. So, and I guarantee you people will be dressing up as Halloween as this lady. Why not? I think it's fantastic. And then you've got this one where the Secret Service can't see him because he dressed like Waldo. So that was pretty good. And what else did we have? Okay, so we were going to go into some of the things that I say are fake and goy. For those of you that think that this is the Pope's hat, well, yes, it is the Pope's hat. But it's also the hat of this fish god, Dagon. It's a pagan god. It's one of the ones that like Starbucks are connected to even. And so when I say it's all fake, it's because it's been changed over the years to the point where people don't even know the origin stories of things. And I'm not just singling out the Catholics. Trust me. They've got plenty that I can go off on, including, if you're not familiar with this is the where the Pope speaks. Looks just like a snake's head on the outside. Looks just like a snake's head on the inside. And this is the statue that's behind him. I don't know if you're familiar with this thing, but it's made of nightmares. It's supposed to be Jesus coming out of, like, I think Armageddon or something. But where is it? I mean, look at this. You can see the face. For some reason it's not making it larger. I guess I can't. But look this stuff up. It's an absolute nightmare behind him. And someone has drawn this where you can see it almost looks like a snake's head going this way, but that's supposed to be Jesus's face and his hair. It's wild. And so this is what he speaks in front of. Yeah, here you go. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a serpent right there? That one for sure does. Just saying. It's creepy. It's creepy. And the Bible specifically says that your only salvation is through Jesus. And then the Catholics say, oh no. And God says, don't call any man father. And they're like, go talk to this guy, call him father, and he will absolve you of your sins. Like, you're totally doing it wrong. None of that is scripture. None of that is the God of the Bible. That's all man-made doctrine. All of it. He walks around with the fish hat, and sometimes they have like a burning purse and stuff, incense. Yeah. So, okay. What's next? Oh, and they also, you can look this up. They have a telescope, the Vatican, that they call Lucifer. And then you find this story, March 2nd, 2019. And where is it? It says, they're saying that it's a rumor and it's not true. They're saying it's incorrect to call it that, and that's not what it was called. And you can see how fast they changed the narrative on us, because this article is from, where'd it go? March 2nd, 2019. But one of the original articles that I used to go off of is this one. April 23rd, 2010. Popular Science. Lucifer instrument helps astronomers see through. So they call it Lucifer in this article. A new instrument with an evil sounding name is helping scientists where stars are born. Lucifer. So large binocular telescope near infrared utility with camera and integral field unit. However, if you take off some of these words that maybe they added, because large utility camera, I don't know, field unit for extragalactic research. So they've added in binocular telescope near infrared, I think, to confuse things. But you can clearly see in this older article that they did call it Lucifer in the beginning. They've changed it now, but that's what it was called. And they even make fun of it and say that it means morning star and not the devil, which is the devil. But there you go. So why does the Vatican have a telescope named Lucifer? For reals. I mean, come on. Now, you get into the other side. I mean, I was born and raised Jewish. We were taught that Jesus isn't the Messiah, and we're still waiting for him. And then you get to these verses in the Bible. Acts 7:4-3. You take up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan. Figures which ye made to worship them, I will carry away beyond Babylon. But ye have borne the tabernacle of Moloch and Shinan, your images, the star of your god, which ye made to yourselves. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. That's Revelation 2:9. Revelation 3:9 says, behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are, yea, and they're not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship for thy feet till they have loved thee. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is the star of Moloch, or excuse me, Remphan. This is not the star of David. It's Remphan. I've covered this many times, but there's still people that haven't heard it and need to see it. And so once again, they took this star, they told you it was for someone else. Just like I read to you in scripture. God says there'll be days when there are people that will say they're chosen ones, and they'll even have this star. And so if you don't read the Bible, then you're not going to see these signs that he told us to watch for. So it's not just the Catholics. It's over there too. And then when you look into the Quran, they actually refer to Jesus as the Messiah. I thought that was really interesting. So why am I bringing this all up? Okay. So you got a bunch of people that say that Trump, the only reason he survived is God's intervention. Okay, I'll buy into it. Let's say, just as we thought, the whole shooting, everything went down, and the only reason that Trump survived was God had him tilt his head just a bit, and he lived, right? I have somebody made a thing of that. Where is it? Yeah. I don't need the sound. So, because of God's intervention, they say, where is it? He has him tilt his head right at the moment that bullet was going to take him out. Some pretty cool animation, I'd say. And instead he gets his ear pierced. And they say that was God's intervention. All right. My question is, if all that's exactly how it went down, what God are we talking about? The reason I'm bringing this up is, let's go to the video evidence of, where'd it go? This is Harmeed Dillon. I think that's how you say her name. And she gave a benediction at the close of one of these RNC gatherings. And what was her benediction? She did a prayer. That nobody knows what she's saying, but she was saying this prayer for however many minutes this goes. Where does it end?
Creating America as a Dear Waheguru.
Dear Waheguru. So that entire thing that she's praying and everyone's got their head bowed, it's not to God of the Bible. It's Waheguru, which is this guy, Sikh, I think. And he's a formless deity connected to every part of the universe through the oneness. So it's very similar to the Buddhist idea of that, you know, we're all God, we're all, you know, we can elevate ourselves to God. I mean, what's interesting is any of these teachings, whether it's New Age or Buddhist or whatever, if you believe that there's a state that you can elevate yourself high enough to become God, I mean, the Mormons think it too. So did Satan. To me, there's no difference. Now, for a Christian, what does he do? What does he say? Jesus says that we'll be able to do the things that he does and more. That doesn't mean we've elevated to God's status. That means we've connected with God, and he's doing this through us. That's the difference. As a Christian, we don't believe we've become a God. Again, that's to me Satanism. We believe that we're working through God is working through us. He's living within us. That's the whole idea about being saved. And so they're praying not to God. They are praying to God, just a different one. So that's the first little chink in the armor. Let's see. Oh, we covered all the Hulk Hogan stuff. How about this? You don't need to wear a MAGA hat anymore. You just wear a little piece of cloth on your ear. This is really happening. I mean, telling you it's like idiocracy. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's what they're doing. People are wearing these. I almost thought of wearing one tonight to start the show, but the Jewish side of me, I couldn't just throw away good gauze and tape and stuff for a 2-second joke. So I didn't. And then how about this? I looked into the beasts of the Bible. Where is it? So here's the beast, Daniel 7. I behold, lo, a beast like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. And then this is Daniel 7. I consider the horns, and behold, they came up another little horn before whom there were 3 of the horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were the eyes of a man and a mouth speaking great things. It's getting very Trumpish to me. And then you get to this one. And this is in Revelation 13. And the beast which I saw unto like a leopard, and his feet were as of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power, and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And I looked up leopard, and I got that picture where their ears have cuts in them. Isn't that interesting? Or is that just for me? I found that interesting. All right. So now you got the leopard thing. Oh, this is the new thing that just came out. They said they want to push the narrative like JFK, that there was a second shooter, and there's somebody all along the water tower. There's somebody right up there during the shooting. You can see him. And then there's reports that they zipped line down and got into a waiting van. I don't know, but it's just interesting. Oh, what does this say? So they don't know. Anyways, so that was interesting. We'll get back to that. Well, no, I can talk about that real quick. To me, this is Here, let me get out of this. Stop sharing for a second. To me, this one, I think it's a Mandela effect. So here, I'll do this.
A ceiling fan man, world premiere.
Right. When I was watching that show the other night, it really was a show. He was promising everything, and I made a comment. I said, he sounds. What is that? That Herbert Hoover thing, where he said there's a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. And the only thing I actually even know about Herbert Hoover, can't even say it, was that saying. Honestly, because it's way before my time. I don't know anything more than that. And let's see. Where is it? Okay. A chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. Herbert Hoover. Another quote. Chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. Herbert Hoover. Once again, same thing. Herbert Hoover. Here's buttons. 1928. A chicken in every pot. Herbert Hoover. Here's an ad from back then. Same thing. Chicken in every pot, car in every garage. Quote, Herbert Hoover. And then you can find tons of these quotes and buttons and stuff, right? But here's the thing. According to the history, he never said it. He never promised that. He didn't make it. They say it came from this article, which he didn't write. And let's see. Can you make this larger? Let's see. This article that he didn't supposedly have anything to do with from the party. I think he was Republican. I don't remember. It was a political ad that was put out in 1928, and they attributed it to him. And to me, I don't know. This seems like a Mandela, because everyone. Where's my thing? It's over here somewhere. It's one of these. Everyone seems to remember it. A chicken in every pot, the car in every garage, being attributed to Herbert Hoover, and he's never said it in this reality. So if that was something that was in your reality, then you heard it here first. Kimberly says, what? Yeah. So there you go. What is this? Let me get out of the screen share and I'll look at that, what you're writing there here. So yeah, isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. The current history is he's never said that. Okay. So stop that. Clickety click. And we'll get rid of this. And we'll get rid of this and this. Now we're clearing a bunch of stuff out. Let's go over to this. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh, we're going to run way faster now. Okay. We'll deal with that next week. All right, let's go back over here. So now when you have Amber Rose, they're saying that she's an atheist and doesn't believe in God or Jesus. And then you've got that other lady that we just showed praying to a different God than the Christian God. This is what I would pose to someone that still believes in President Trump is here to save you and still believes that he's working with God. And there's only one God. And for me, it's the God of the Bible. I mean, that's pretty obvious at this point. But when he's working with God, but he's talking about all these other gods or hanging out with atheists that don't even believe in God or Jesus. This is the question I would pose, and not that Donald Trump's watching. I don't know. He watches Alex Stein, so maybe. If you truly did have this born-again moment, as they say happened to him on stage, this life, you saw that one, the light flashed before his eyes. If he has truly found Jesus, let him speak it. Let him say the truth is in Jesus. Let him pray to God of the Bible or Jesus. Just saying God doesn't solidify it in my head. Not with all the other stuff that you got going on around you. So how about this? Can people be saved no matter who they are? Uh-oh, I hope I didn't mess up the microphone. There. Absolutely. And how do we know that? We have the teachings of Jesus on the cross. He had the person right next to him, and the guy said, look, I've never prayed. I never know anything about you or whatever. Can I be saved? And he saved him right there. He knew nothing about the Bible. He never prayed to Jesus or any of that. And yet he got saved. So anyone could be saved. Even Hillary.
And so here we are.
Not Hillary, but maybe. But we're supposed to. God says it's so easy to pray for your friends. The hard thing is to pray for your enemies. We're even supposed to pray for those people. Now, evil exists in the world. But God is here. It's not like he's checked out. Everything goes through him, and he allows certain things to happen. That's just the way it works. And we have to show our character when bad things come our way as to what we're going to do. Are we going to break down and want to kill ourselves, as Job's wife said to him? Or do we fight through it like Job did and never curse God about it? Not understanding it, but understanding that he has his purpose. And we might not be happy with it. In fact, the only time God actually yelled at Job was at the end, when he's like, I don't know what I can do to please you anymore. I would rather just never been born. Can you please take my life at that point? So he did get to that stage. But my goodness, what he went through is insane. And so we have these stories and these teachings. So we don't have to go through these things without realizing how to get around them or how to get out of it. And so when you have a situation where you have someone that everyone's thinking that he was put there by God, look, we've had kings. You can read through the books of Kings and Chronicles, and some were good kings and some were bad, and some did good things and some did bad. God can use both to help save people, to help wake up people. He can use both. So does Trump believe in the God of the Bible? I'm not seeing that right now. Can God use him to do whatever it is that we're supposed to go through? Absolutely. Does that make Trump the hero? Again, I can't say that, because he matches up to so much about the beast. And here's an interesting thing that I'm finding. If you go into this passage here that everyone seems to be pointing to, Revelation 13, what I find very interesting on this, let's see. Am I sharing that? No. Oh, I am. Okay. What I find really interesting on this is, as you go through this passage, where'd it go? Here it is. And the beast which I saw unto a leopard, and his feet were the bear, and his mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him power. To me, as I read this, the dragon is Satan, okay? And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded. That's what happened to Trump. And it looked like he was going to be dead, but he gets up and his deadly wound was healed. He'll show up and he'll have a really cool Evander Holyfield tear out of his ear, probably. And the world wondered after the beast. And what's happening when I read this next passage, they worship the dragon, which gave power to the beast. And I say, no, that could never happen. No one's actually going to worship Satan. But the next line, they worship the beast, saying, who is not like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and powers was given to him. And so when I see that, I kind of see how that can happen. Because let's just say that maybe this is all as I'm seeing it here. Then what it says is, They gave power to the beast. I'm seeing that happen. You're seeing Democrats and liberals and people that were never Trumpers, even like the vice president, getting on board with Trump. It says, who can make war with him? And that's one of the promises. He says, we're going to stop all the wars. He's going to make friends with China again. He's going to make friends with North Korea again. He's doing all that stuff that it said there. Who can make war with him? No one. And so if people are giving power to Trump and they're believing he'll be the savior out of this situation, then by definition, they're doing this, because then it says they worship the dragon which gave him power. So if you're worshiping Trump and he's praying to some other god, by default, you're worshiping that other god, because you're not supposed to have any idols. And that includes Trump. Even if he's going to do some things that are going to help out your life, great. There's sometimes a bad thing can turn into a good thing. But don't worship the man. And don't tell me he's working with God until you prove it. And the only way you can prove it is I want to hear him say it. I want to hear him say his Savior is the Lord Jesus Christ. Nothing else will convince me. Because you can talk about God all you want. And they talked about gods. They just weren't the right ones. They were heathen gods. What's a heathen? Someone that doesn't believe in the God of the Bible. Why am I so fixated on that? Because I woke up to this truth. That we're living in this book, wherever it is, this big one here. We're living in the Bible. That book tells you your past, your present, and your future. Period. And if we're working off of that, then Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. That's it. There's no argument. You're not going to try to convince me otherwise. Because if you have been born again, and I'm not saying anyone's better than anyone if you haven't felt this moment. The only reason you haven't felt it is you haven't given it that moment where you go privately when no one's around, you clear your thoughts and everything, and you pour out your heart and you ask God if he's real, and he will show up every time. He says so biblically. And the only reason that you can't unconvince me is I had that moment. I won't describe it here, but if you've had it, you know it's special, it's crazy, it's unexplainable. It changed my life forever. And I want to hear Donald Trump say that. Otherwise, yeah, he's working with God. And maybe my God that I believe in is using him for the purposes that we're supposed to be seeing here. But Donald Trump, he's not working with the God that I know of the Bible unless he says it. Because everyone that's showing up on stage, they're working with other gods. And to each their own. But no, there's only one God. I know who he is. And by his grace, he knows who I am. And that's why I'm on this show. Is I'm supposed to be a candle up on a hill or in a window. I'm not supposed to hide it. If you know the love of Jesus, if you found him or if he's found you, you can't unring that bell. You can't stop saying it. I'm not going to go out on the street corners and do that. This is my street corner right here. So I do a show and I have entertainment, and I really like doing that, and I like the chat that shows up and stuff and the fun that we have. But at the end of the day, this is about your salvation, and it's not coming from politicians. It's not coming from them. Here's the other side. Look at this guy.
If you're vaccinated,
it was during the years you still probably can't even say the V word.
If you're vaccinated, you can do more things more safely, both outdoors as well as indoors. This is another great reason to go get vaccinated. Now. getting together with friends, going to the park for a picnic without needing to mask up. So go get the shot. Go get your vaccination now. It's free and it's convenient. Now.
You will obey.
Satellite tracking continues.
So there you go. Doesn't matter which side you're on. They both push it. They will continue to push it. It's going to get wild in these next few years. Now they're talking about they're going to come out with a shot for cancer, and everyone's going to sign up for that. It's wild. It's pretty wild. So, so that's my stance on it. I'm going to not go through the whole breakdown of what did or didn't happen or who was involved and all that, because at the end of the day, that narrative, whatever the truth lies, it's to trap conservative thinking people. It's to trap Christians. It's to trap the Q people that still think something's going to happen. Trust the plan. It's a trap, as they say in Star Wars, the old good ones. That's all it is. It's some people call it gatekeeping, but it's just a way to keep you at a level and never go any higher. And when Trump and all the people at RNC and all that, they talk about God, they don't realize they might not be talking about the same God. The people watching, the people that are believing this. And so I'm just here as hopefully a voice of reason or whatever you want to call me, and say, no, I'm not buying it until I hear him say that, until I hear him say he's born again. Because otherwise, he's working with a God. I just don't know which one. And God may be using him, but we're still going to get the same agendas pushed through. And am I going to be happy if the taxes go down and gas goes down? And yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Good cop, bad cop. We've had bad cop 4 years. Maybe we'll get good cop for 4 years, but who knows what's going to happen next after that. So there is no salvation in a man. I don't care who it is. Their only salvation is through Jesus. And if people don't want to hear that, I can't stop that. I have to express what's in my heart, and the whole reason I do this show. And so I hope and I pray that when I do these shows and people that are on the fence or don't believe it, they'll look into it themselves. They'll read the Bible. There's so much information. It's amazing. Or they'll seek out this relationship that I've been talking about. And it's so easy to do. It's really doesn't take any effort. And it doesn't make me any more special than anyone else. We're all equally special in the eyes of God. And NASA and the lies of the world, they want to teach you the opposite. You're an insignificant piece of dust flying through space, and nothing matters, and you don't matter. And when you're gone, no one will care. And that's not the truth at all. That's another lie of the devil. And so he lies to tell you that God doesn't exist. And he lies to say that you don't matter. So, all right. I hear something whistling down there. Hopefully my wife's listening. There's something on the pot cooking that's a problem. And if you don't get to it, I'll have to go run down there. So let me fix that. Don't go anywhere. Just sit right there.
me and give me and breakfast. When the sea saints you come from land down under, where Roman going in thunder. Can I hear the thunder? You better run, you better take over. Buying bread from the butchers, he was the 64 emperor of masters. I said, you speak my language. He just smiled and give me bacon and some weight. When he said you come from land of thunder, we're Roman glow and in thunder. Can I hear the thunder? Better run, better take over. I come from the land of a plenty. When the sea said you come from land on under, we're Roman glow and in thunder. Can I hear the thunder? You better run, you better take over. Can I hear the thunder? You better run, you better take over. When the sea says you come from land down under, we're on the glow and in thunder. Can I hear the thunder? You better run, you better take over. And you better run, you better take over. You better run, you better take over.
Satellite tracking continues.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. That's a really good rendition. It's that's on my channel. You can find that video. It's called Australia, which I didn't play the Australia. I should have played. It's too late in the show for that. And I should have shown that whole thing upside down too, but hey, it's late in the night. And yeah. So there's that. One more last time on this guy.
Satellite tracking continues.
I like that one. Oh, look at this. So Jack Reed said, Vance is a panda. His Hindu wife encouraged him to become Catholic. He hated Trump. Yeah, he hated. Now he smiles with another. He's a pigeon, panda pigeon. I like it. Where are we? Here
True.
You go.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I like it. He's a panda pigeon. Maybe that's going to be a thing. So, Okay. So you like the memes? Good. Yeah. I have so many. I have so many that I have to keep finding. Yeah, the waiter one is great. I have to keep finding where to put different videos together for it. So, but that one you could tell some of them were, I think, for 2023 because that's like a 2-year-old thing. But were his lyrics off? Maybe. But I forget. They're like I think they're a Filipino group or something. So, but yeah. All right. So let's see. I think we covered pretty much everything I had here, and my feelings about where we are with Trump. So, like I said, he says, including hopefully he'll say, free cookies every Saturday, but he had all kinds of points that sounded great. Is he going to do any of them? I don't know. Don't forget, he always yelled he was going to put Hillary in jail, and that never happened. So, not that it's a big deal. I don't think any of them really go into jail. They never arrest each other. Criminals don't arrest themselves. It's just the way it is. And so, yeah, if they threw out all his charges too, so that whole trauma that we're putting people through, isn't that hilarious? It's going to just be more. Here's what I would say for everyone. It's going to be more discourse than we had in the last election, or at least equal. And if they do get Big Mike, then that's really going to make it quite an event. But it's more ways to divide us. It's a constant division that we feel, even amongst, say, Christians. I've been ostracized yet again because I truly believe that the events of Revelation have happened. I take Jesus as his word. And when the disciples take him aside privately and ask him when it's going to happen, and he says, this generation, if I was, say, sitting in a room with Jesus and I said, hey, when's this going to happen? He goes, this generation's not going to pass away till all this happens. I would truly believe he's talking to me. And since I didn't grow up in the church, I'm not familiar with the dispensationalism where they add 2,000 years. And that speech was not to them. I mean, I would think it would confuse the heck out of them. You've got the saints that are going around. They literally gave up their lives. I mean, threw down their fishing poles and stuff and followed him. It's really incredible. Because how many? I mean, there's a story about this rich man that, he says, what do I do? And he said, give everything away and follow me. And he's like, I'll see you later. So it's not an easy decision to make. And here you've got all these, the saints, the disciples that go around and they do the teachings of Jesus. They walk with him. They learn from him. And then he goes away. But he tells them, I'll be back soon. I'll be back constantly as I'm coming quickly. And verily, verily, I say unto you, which is the stuff he says when he really wants you to listen. And so he says he's coming right back. So then what do? One of the things that we're supposed to look for is that they would preach to all of the world, this doctrine of Jesus. And so what happens? The tongues come down. And suddenly everyone that's standing there can understand them in their own language. And they go around and they preach to the whole world or whatever, the earth, whatever, whoever's there. Like that was even fulfilled. And you can see it in scriptures. And so when you add up all the different times that Jesus says he's coming back right away, including the high priest, who's no one special, but he says, you're going to see me. He says some of the people that pierced him are going to see him. So if you take all the scriptures, including all of Jesus speaking himself, in order to put in this extra 2,000 years and the rapture and all that, and trust me, I've studied that. I've taken classes specifically dealing with what the rapture is and end times. And they don't have the same scriptures to line up to prove their point. I don't have to prove that Jesus came back or that the rapture, whatever that was, already happened. Because first of all, who's going to be raptured? These disciples and saints that gave up their lives and literally were put to death in horrific ways in the name of Jesus, just like he said would happen. Those people, no, they don't get to come back on a chariot horse and stuff, or maybe they do, but they got to wait 2,000 years. Why? Because Jesus also wants me to ride in on a horse because of my Instagram post or my YouTube channel, right? It's not equal in my mind. Not to say that I wouldn't, like, if I get chosen and that I was wrong, shit, I'll be riding in and excited and say, hey, I was wrong, everyone. But I'm not seeing it and I'm not preparing for it. And I feel bad for the people that are. And I'm not saying give up your dream. What I'm saying is you have to put at least in your thought process that this stuff could have happened. And what we see as evidence is all this stuff that's buried underground and melted and destroyed and covered in mud and whatever. They're remnants of the old world here. What there isn't any evidence is where we have to wait 2,000 years for him to come back, because all those other people would have lived and died and gone, well, that was weird. He said he was coming right away and he didn't. And so I'm not finding that scripture, but I am finding many scriptures that are telling us that that happened. So that where does that put us? Like Revelation 20 on, I guess, where the millennial reign has happened. Jesus is here with the saints, and they're going to get surrounded in the final war of Gog and Magog. That's where I believe we're at. Now, as far as all the stuff that I talked about tonight with the beast and Revelation and all that, first of all, the timeline's God's timeline and ours. He's everywhere at the same time, all at once. And as far as trying to figure some of that out, it's really difficult. But here's what I will tell you. If we're the left behinds, at the end of the book, Satan is loosed for his short season or little season, pizza, and he's released to deceive the nations. Who are those, as Jerry Seinfeld say, who are these people? Why can't they be us? He's got to deceive someone. What makes us think that we're so amazing that, no, God's put a pause button for 2,000 years to make sure that he brings us in? And it would make more sense to me that as it was written, all that stuff happened. And when you look at the Bible, the ending, it's not there. It doesn't tell you what goes down in the short season. It doesn't tell you how long it is. It just tells you about some main things, like the saints have to be surrounded and there's a war and then everyone's judged. But as far as descriptions and details and stuff, there's a lot of blankness there. And that would make sense because we're living it. If it was already written out, then you'd know. But we're living it. We're those people. We are the people being deceived. It's so obvious to me when everything is talked about in a deception, right down to people questioning the sun and the moon and the earth. I mean, pick a subject where someone's not questioning at this point. I don't believe there's ever been a time in history where it's this much deception going on. And so once again, it's another marker for me to put us at the end of the book. Same with the Mandela effect, where God says that, you know, the devil's allowed to change things, times, and I believe that's just another marker to show where we are. Would it be great if we're all believers in Christ and we get raptured? Absolutely. But I don't feel that. That's not what God's telling me. That's, if you want to say the Holy Spirit's guiding me, I'm not feeling that. All the work that I do with Jen and Chapu, with the melted buildings and Steve back in the day, it just points me that something catastrophic has happened more than once. And we're the ones that are being deceived. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm still waiting for the same thing. Because at the end, God comes back and stops it all, and we have final judgment, and then we get the new heaven and earth. And I know for people that don't buy into this, they say I sound crazy. But I didn't believe any of this until just whatever it was, 7-8 years ago, whenever this started. And there's no going back. I can't pretend to eat the fake steak like Cypher. I've seen too much. Things you would not be able to explain away. I know God exists, and I know I have a walk with him, and I feel so blessed. And that's why I'm supposed to come on these shows every Friday, at least when I can, and hang out with you all and have a good time and give you somewhere to hang out and look at the world differently. But at the end of the day, I'm supposed to be here to help people find God. And what a blessing that is. And so I want to say thank you, Lord, for all of my blessings, including this show, and continue to guide me and teach me so I can present this evidence and these ideas and show people the joy that you get when you find this relationship that I talk about, the peace that you get, the understanding that you get, and how you are a God that is long suffering and has put up with us through everything and knows who we are and has seen all the dumb things that we've done and has never left us and is still right here beside us and walking with us. And then once we realize and we repent on our ways, we can have a deeper walk with you. And I thank you for that. I thank you for opening my eyes and giving me the voice to try to help others seek this in their lives. And may you watch over all of us, all of our friends and families, and saved and unsaved, and Jews and Gentiles and Goys and all of it, because we're all your children and you're here for us. And I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. And that's a whole other show I didn't even get into. Why I say it's fake and goy. It's because I'll throw this last thing at you and you can mull on it and maybe we'll cover it on another show. But when you look through the scriptures, in the beginning, there was what God called his chosen people, the Hebrews, Abraham. He took a liking and he said, you're going to have the seed of, all these nations or whatever, all these people. And of course, it goes through Abraham, goes to Isaac, and then through Jacob. And Jacob has, the 12 tribes. And when God talks about the children of Israel, he's talking about the children of Jacob. He's not talking about a place in the Middle East. They weren't even there yet. He's talking about the children of Abraham. And in the days of Abraham, they were called Hebrews. And they had that circumcision thing so they could recognize each other. That's pretty much, in a nutshell, that. The one tribe from Jacob, tribe of Judah, they're called Jews. But the rest of them, including Moses and Aaron and the Levites, they come from a different tribe that aren't from Judah. But what that means is when people are deciding what they are, when you go through the Bible, they always talk about the son of the men. They name off the men: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David. It's the lineage through the men. When you go through the Jewish teachings that I was brought up, they always say, well, if your mom is Jewish, then you're Jewish. So right there's a huge confusion, I believe. There are people that think they're Jewish and might not even be. Not that that's a big deal. Because here's the kicker. When Jesus shows up, it's because the children of Israel and the special children still to this day were actually, some of them are worse than the people that didn't even believe in God. And so when Jesus comes back, it's for the Gentiles, the people that weren't called Jews. Some of them didn't even, believe in God, but he came back to save all of them. And he came back to let everyone know we're all equal. At this point, you have to understand, he gave his sacrifice of his life to pay for everyone's sin, whether you know him or not. He still went ahead and did it. And so it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Gentile. It doesn't matter. We're all equal at this point. We are all given the same gift. It's just up to you if you want to accept it or not. And it's mind-blowing once you fall down this rabbit hole and you find out the truth, because there's really nowhere that's giving you the truth. But I find it in the Bible and I find it in Jesus. So, all right. That's all I've got to say tonight. I said a lot. Hopefully we had fun and we learned something along the way. Because we're not all just here because you have nowhere to go.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
Maybe we are. But just remember, as Juan Truth says, there's no experts.
There are no experts.
All right. So we covered a lot of territory. Hopefully it was enjoyable. And we'll keep going. God willing, let's do this again. I'm sure you'll see me on some stream with Jan or Shapu coming up soon. And then we'll be back here again next Friday. All right. So thank you all again for being here. I really do appreciate everybody that shows up and all of the love and support. Thank you again. And God willing, let's do this again real soon. And so with that, he said this with a knife in his leg.
Class is dismissed.
And for those who don't know, Jen and Shapu, I think they're in the chat. And if not, Jen's channel, well, the monitors can throw it in there, Jen's channel or Shapu's. I do a lot of shows with them, and they do a lot of shows with me. So we'll put them in there. But anyways, thank you all again. Have a wonderful evening and a lovely weekend, and may God bless you all. Good night.
I'm the satellite.
500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.